doing is something that I've been asked to do by one of my subscribers. So if you're not aware, I do have a Makeup Revolution Facebook group. It's kind of like a fans of Makeup Revolution group, where we can talk about all the new releases, anything sort of Makeup Revolution related, share videos, share photos of looks you've created using Revolution and that type of thing as well. It's just a bit of fun really, but one of the ladies, I think it was on that group, asked me if I could compare two palettes, and so I thought, yeah, why not, let's do that. So we are comparing today the new Bird of Paradise palette. I will put my full testing video up in the description, and the Makeup Revolution Halloween Rainbow palette, again I'll put that link in the description as well, because I have tested both of these before. But the lady was saying in the group that she believed these to be like the same palette or similar. So I thought I'd take a look for myself, and she'd asked me to do sort of comparison swatches, so I thought I would do that for you as well. The one thing I would say about these is they look similar when you look at them separately, but together they're not that similar. I tried to create an eye look today with the only shades that I could find that were sort of almost exact, and to be honest, it's gone wrong. So this is the look. I've got one palette on each eye. It's not my best look, to be honest, it's awful, but I'm doing this at night after work, and yeah, I didn't have time to redo it, so just ignore my eyes for this video. But as you can see, like, the colours they're similar, but they're not the same colours. You can tell there is a slight difference, but yeah, I mean, nobody needs two colours that are nearly the same but not quite the same anyway, so yeah, I get where people are coming from with it. What I'm going to do first of all is hold these up side by side, and then what we'll do is we'll swatch the similar colours sort of next to each other. So this is the new one. This is the Bird of Paradise, and then this is the Halloween Rainbow. As you can see, it does have a similar colour story, but they're not the exact same palette. The shades aren't identical, even the similar shades, they are very similar, but they're not identical. And the shimmers and the glitters are completely different in both palettes, so they don't follow the same sort of theme. So I'm trying to think where to start, because we want similar colours together. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the mattes for now, because the shimmers are nothing like each other. And I'm just going to start with the rainbow palette, and I'm just going to swatch them in order, going across but missing out the shimmers, and then I'm going to put the nearest one to it of the other shade underneath, if that makes sense. So we're starting with Rainbow, which is this green one in the Rainbow palette. So we'll start up here because we've got to make a lot of room. So that is Rainbow from the Rainbow palette, and then this is Budgie, which is this sort of nearest out of the other palette. And actually they are very similar, but they're not the same, but they're very, very similar. Next we'll go with this purple, which is Magical. And then what's the nearest one to Magical? There's three purples in the other palette, so I'm just going to swatch them all, because there's only one purple in the Rainbow palette, but there's three in the other palette. So that's one of them. Not really the same. That one's very similar to that one. And then this one's more pink. It's like a pinky purple. So yeah, I suppose those two are quite similar, and those two are quite similar so far. Next we've got Skydive from the Rainbow palette, and the similar one in the other palette is called Macaw. Again, they're not identical. This one is more blue, this one's got a bit more green. They are very, very similar. I'm going to move down to the next row of the Rainbow palette. So that's like a mint green called Pegasus. And then we've got Take Flight from the other palette. Again, they are actually very close, but Are they the same? The top one's a little bit more green, but they are almost the same. They're very, very similar. So next we have Sunflower. There's nothing in the other palette like Sunflower. Sunflower is like a dirty yellow. The closest we've got is Toucan, which is orange. Oh, they look very similar. They don't in the pans. So that's Sunflower there, which is quite yellow. And the one I've just swatched is Toucan, which is very orange in the pan. But swatch-wise, quite similar. Right, so then we've got a fuchsia pink. And that's Imagine from the Rainbow palette. And then we've got another fuchsia pink from the other palette called Vacay. And they are very similar again. What are we on to next? A khaki green. So we've got a khaki green in the Rainbow palette. We don't have a khaki green in the other palette, but we do have two greens, so we'll just go with the two greens. See, that's a bright green, which was Jungle, and then we've got Budgie, which is like more of a fluorescent green, so none of them greens are the same. But yeah, it is a very similar colour story, I must admit. So I think we're going to have to move on to the other arm. So let's start swatching on the other arm. We're on to Wavelength. So Wavelength is this sort of reddish colour. I'm going to say that either Tweet from the other palette or Cardinal are very similar. They're not the same, but they are similar. We've got another one that's a bit similar in the Rainbow palette called Fairyland. So all four are quite similar. So this one and this one are from the Rainbow, and the two in the middle are from the Birds of Paradise. We just got one more matte in the Rainbow, which is Liberty, which is this bright yellow. And the matching one from the other palette, the nearest one to it, is this yellow, and they are quite similar. So, have we got any more colours that we've not tried from this palette? So this is the other palette, not the one that I've been going through. So we've done all them. Yeah, there's just the white. I'm not going to compare two whites. So let's go with the shimmers now. So there's quite a lot of shimmers in the Rainbow palette, more than the other palette. So we've got this one. I'm just going to do all the shimmers, and then I'll do all the shimmers in the other palette, because I don't think any are actually similar. So we've got this one, Heavenly, which is just beautiful. It's like a brown that goes to green. We've got Imagine, Daydream, which I've done on my thumb for some reason unbeknownst to me. We've got Happy Ending, which is a green. See, there is a lot in this palette. There's that one. Final one is this one. So those are the shimmers in the Rainbow palette. As you can see, there's loads of shimmers. Now in the other palette, the new palette, the Birds of Paradise, there's only 3 shimmers. So that's a big difference. So we'll put the shimmers at the bottom. And the shimmers are different consistency in the new palette. They're kind of wet and squishy. So that's a gold one. Doesn't look like any of those. We've got a pink one, which doesn't really look like any of those. We've got Exotic, which is a red one. And I'll put it at the top because we're running out of room. And then we've got 2 glitters. Now obviously the glitters are completely different because there isn't glitters in the Rainbow palette, so those are 2 glitters there. So yes, the mattes are very, very similar, but I would say that the mattes are the staple of the palette, and the glitters and the shimmers are what, you know, gives your look a bit of a pop or a pizzazz. And the glitters and shimmers are the things that are different in these palettes, and the mattes are not identical. There's not one single shade that is 100% the same, but similar. Very, very similar. So yeah, I just want to show you. Just look in this pan. I don't know whether you'll be able to see, but how squishy these are. Can you see that? I've never seen anything or felt anything quite like it from Revolution before. They're so squishy, and that's a completely different consistency to the rainbow palette. So in short, do we need both of these in our collection? Well, in essence, you never really need more palettes in your collection. If you've got a palette, that is enough. But yeah, obviously I feel like I need more. It depends on your outlook. If you're a mattes girl or a mattes boy, just a mattes person in general, not to be sexist, then no. I would say if you're into your mattes and you don't really use shimmer and you don't really use glitter, there is absolutely no point getting this palette if you've already got this palette. However, if like me, you're a glitters and a shimmers person, well, these are all from the rainbow palette, and then these ones are from the other palette, and those ones, they are nothing like each other. So if you like your glitters and shimmers, then it is definitely worth getting the other palette as well if you've already got the other one, because they are different, and especially because the new palette had this new formula, and it's really interesting. It's really strange to sort of feel it and to work with at first, but after a while, like once you get used to using it, it's actually really nice consistency. And yeah, I think it makes your shimmers sort of pop a bit more and stand out a bit more. Like, you know how they always say wet your brush before you use a shimmer? You don't need to with them because they're already kind of a bit wet. So yeah, I mean, I'm 50-50 on it. I personally would want both, but if you're a person that's just into the mattes, I don't really see what the point is in getting them both, because they are very, very similar from the matte side. But yeah, I hope you did find this video useful or interesting, and I will see you in a video again soon. Bye!